What's going on, gods and goddesses? It's your boy Bishop X, here with my quick little rant about smite misconceptions. It's amazing how many there are in this game, and I just want to tackle these real quick. First off, you gotta understand, this is not Dota. This is not LoL. 2014 wants you to come back to the rest of us and adapt. See, in these old classic archaic games that you're used to playing, one person basically did all the killing. They called them, oh my god, the carry. See, okay, I guess like a million years ago when MOBAs first started, they went with the whole gauntlet style, right? They decided, hey, we're gonna have a tanky guy who just takes damage. We're gonna have a support guy who does a little bit of supporting, and we're gonna have the guy who does all the damage, and he's just going to be able to kill everything. I mean, that's about as archaic as the role-playing game where the healer can only stand in the back and heal and do nothing else. The tank can do nothing but get hit, and the damage just does tons and tons of damage, makes everybody else insignificant. How much fun was that back in the day for people to play? Would anybody in 2014 actually sit down and play those games? Sure, maybe a small percentage of you, but most people want to play a game where they are relevant, which is exactly what this new generation of MOBAs has done. I play Infinite Crisis. I play Smite. It's amazing how when I go to Infinite Crisis, a game that is a majority of people who are new to MOBAs, so they don't have the whole rage concept of things that you must do. I play Smite, and I'm told I absolutely have to have a hunter in every game, and I absolutely have to have a tank who can never spec for damage in every game. It's just funny how you have to have certain classes, and the middle lane always has to be a mage. And the only thing that I've learned in my time coming from Infinite Crisis is that these games are completely different than the games that came out 3 or 4 years ago. It's an entirely new way of thinking. It's a lot more balanced. It makes no sense that they have one person who can only do all the killing. You give him all the XP, all the gold, and then he's supposed to run around and just demolish everybody in 2 hits. Thank God this game doesn't do that. Actually, my opinion, you're better served just winning your lane outright, not losing it. Because I've had just as many 20 kill games as Hercules, who's a bruiser, as I've had with Kali, who's an assassin. And in fact, now that I think about it, my jungle Ymir has had 20 kill games, and my jungle Hercules has also had 19 kill games. This wouldn't really happen all the time in those old games because tanks are just supposed to stand there and get beat on, and only the carry can run around and two-shot people at the end of the game. And honestly, how much fun is it to run around and get two-shot? Well, next I want to dive into the misconception part of the game, because it seems like people will expect a character to be whatever it looks like. No matter what, you can never break out of their preconceived notion of what a character is supposed to do. The misconceptions are crazy. I mean, if you are a tank wearing a robe, you're all of a sudden less tanky. But if you are an assassin wearing shoulder pads, you're all of a sudden a bruiser and a tank. If you are a cool looking ninja bruiser, now all of a sudden you're an assassin. I kid you not. People actually believe this way and will talk as such in game. Like right here. Look. Nemesis is an assassin, and Thor is a bruiser. And I'm saying to myself, what? So you dive into the lab. If you give them the exact same items and the exact same abilities, they'll all have the same stats. Like, look, here is Nemesis, the same stats. Then I click over to Hercules, who's considered tanky. He has the exact same stats too. You see Nemesis slice and dice. Did 388 damage. Okay? Now, she's supposedly an assassin. Twice in a row, we're going to give an assassin the exact same gear. Okay? Then we're going to run over to the jungle, and you see that right now, the auto attack is higher on the tank, but the damage scales higher on the assassin. So he does the exact same ability. It does almost 100 damage more. That's because the growth rates on assassin abilities are a lot higher than the growth rates are on tanks and bruisers. The other one that kills me. Sun Wukong is a great tank. Hades is just too squishy. Right here we look at Sun Wukong's stats, spec full defensive. Now we look at Hades, and we notice that they're pretty much similar, but Hades has better protections. Hades is called squishy compared to other real tanks, but if you notice, he has the exact same stats as Sobek, minus 30 hit points. How about my favorite tank? Nuwa. Yes, that's right, I said Nuwa. See, if you look at her stats, protections-wise and hit points, she's actually better than Sun Wukong. Then she can constantly raise a clay army, which gives her higher physical protection than him. And she has the mist buff, which will make her or your lane mate invisible and gives her speed. It's amazing because when I first looked at all of the abilities of her, I saw that her Flame Strike did more damage if you were close to the enemy. She had a PB AoE attack, so that basically made me think, oh, she's a bruiser. She has an AoE slow, she has lane pushers. I pretty much thought of her as a magical bruiser. But I guess that's the point here, right? I see a hybrid bruiser type, and others see a glass cannon mage. I mean, that's the whole point of this game. You do what you want to do as long as it works. And it doesn't make a difference if somebody else could do it slightly better. Everybody's stats are pretty similar. It's just the skill set of the player, what they want to do. Do what works for you. Remember, this isn't Dota. You can do anything you want to do with certain characters and have fun. And please, practice and practice mode first.